German voters are heading to the polls on Sunday to elect a new parliament. Angela Merkel is expected to secure a record-tying fourth term as Chancellor. But standing in the way of the Christian Democrats is Martin Schulz. He's the leader of her current coalition partner, the Social Democratic Party. Despite their political unity over the past 4 years, the two have rather different plans for the economy. Now, Merkel's CDU wants to reduce unemployment from 5.5% to below 3% by 2025. Schulz's SPD wants to tackle unemployment by preventing companies from putting employees on temporary job contracts without a reason. When it comes to taxes, the CDU promises $24 billion worth of tax cuts for all taxpayers. It also wants to raise the top income tax bracket from $62,000 to $71,000 a year. The Social Democrats, however, want higher taxes for higher earners. They propose raising the top income tax rate from 42% to 45%. On defence, Merkel wants to raise spending to 2% of GDP by 2024. That is the threshold required by NATO and demanded by US President Donald Trump. Schulz also wants to raise defence spending, but by less to avoid an arms race. And the refugee crisis has been a pressing issue during Merkel's latest term. Her party says it's committed to financing the integration of refugees granted asylum while speeding up the deportation of rejected asylum seekers. The SPD wants to stop the entry of refugees and allow only skilled immigrants into Germany. Let's get more now from Francis Collings, who is in Berlin. Francis, great to have you on Money Talks. Those are the economic priorities of the two leading candidates. But what are the economic priorities of ordinary people in Germany?
Effectively, much of the same. I mean, Angela Merkel's longevity is related primarily to what has she delivered on an economic basis. You mentioned unemployment. It's halved since she first came to power, and that was 12 years ago, and you said she wants to take that down even lower. The economy is the strongest in the Eurozone, and people we speak to, analysts we speak to, say that this is what drives the voters primarily. Yes, there are other details that you've gone into. The devil is in actually the detail, because of course there will be some form of coalition government in the Bundestag behind me here in Berlin, and of course when someone comes into a coalition they have their own views and their own priorities. But it is the economy, as one of Bill Clinton's advisors said 20 years ago, to paraphrase, it's all about the economy, and that tends to drive elections.
If the polls are correct and if Merkel wins, what would her victory mean for the German economy, do analysts say?
Essentially, she is being advised, despite the fact that there is economic good news, that Germany still needs to modernise. It still needs to future-proof in terms of the growth of things like broadband, which can drive industry, can drive businesses. That there is a case to be made that a lot of the German economy is based on 20th century business and practices, and things need to go forward. Now, she's known as a flexible chancellor. She's someone who can change her mind and move forward. She certainly did that on nuclear energy a while ago after the Fukushima disaster in Japan, and that caused quite a lot of consternation within that industry itself. She's given warnings to the car industry about diesel. That's a very big industry, of course, in Germany, worth billions a year. She wants that to move forward. So it's a mixture of her pragmatism, what the voters require from her, and she's known to be flexible, and indeed modernising the economy so that it stays the strongest in the Eurozone and stays growing, as it's done since Angela Merkel became Chancellor in 2005.
OK, Francis Collings in Berlin, thank you ever so much.